Hey, Marc Millan here. Thank you for letting me be a part of your day as we go over leadership topics. I'm hoping that today's topic will help you. Today we're talking about leadership excellence. Leadership excellence. Excellence is one of those words that I have loved to use over the years, but I've also discovered in many conversations in different areas I've had a chance to either work in or serve in, that can be interpreted to be something that it's not intended to be. So let's start off there. Leadership excellence is not about perfection, because excellence and perfection are two different things. Perfection is about reaching or attaining a state of progress that can no longer be improved upon. In other words, it has achieved its highest potential. It has achieved its highest level of creativity, ability, and expression, and it just needs to remain that. That's it. Can't be improved upon. It's kind of climbed its mountain, and it stays like that every single time. That's perfection. I don't believe that that's possible in most of the things we do in life. I believe that we are imperfect people on a quest to get better and improve everything that we do. So when we talk about leadership excellence, we're talking about progress. We're talking about trying to make things better, improve things, find new ways to do things better than the way they existed before. So just wanted to start with that kind of as a foundation as we look at three things that I think provide and give us a chance to pursue leadership excellence. So let's jump right in. I hope these help you achieve excellence wherever God has you serving or working today. Number one, confidence. Leadership excellence starts with confidence. Now, when I talk about confidence, I'm not talking about being overly confident. I'm not talking about a state of arrogance, believing that you kind of have achieved some level of knowing more than everyone else. I'm just talking about confidence that you can face what you're about to face. Think of it in terms of trials. So if you've ever had a chance or been invited to run a 5K marathon run, K5K meaning 3 miles, well, if you've run at least 1 or 2 miles, I guess you and I could say you have some form of confidence that you can go and chase that 5K, right? You can go for 3 miles when you've already been putting in 1 or 2 miles. If you've never run and you've never been running and you don't like to run and you just think running is silly, and then you sign up for a 5K, then I would say you lack the confidence that's going to be required to accomplish that goal. So confidence is more about you having some history with what you're about to face. If you're going to achieve leadership excellence in something, you have to have some of that. If you don't have any former history, if you haven't built up some sort of familiarity with what you're about to face, then your confidence is going to be a little bit low, and you're going to have to work really hard to learn and ask questions and get caught up as fast as you can. It's not a bad thing to have to learn something. In fact, I think it's one of the greater attributes of leadership when we go into situations asking questions. And again, you don't want to be on the other side of this where you're overly confident, because being overconfident kind of forces you not to listen, and it forces you not to learn anything. So you want to have confidence based on history that you've had before. If you're going to achieve leadership excellence in your work, in your ministry, you're just going to have to go through some things first before you give it a go. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, we want to have competence. Number two is competence. And when I'm talking about competence, I'm talking about skill. Have you worked on this skill before? Now, it could be as simple as learning to have difficult conversations, which I already have a little video on that. If you want to go and search through the pile, I have a video on difficult conversations. It's a great example. If you're going to have difficult conversations in your new role, let's say you're a supervisor or you're managing people, you're going to have to at some point have difficult conversations. And if you've never practiced that skill, it's going to be really hard for you to have success having difficult conversations. It might be that you're working graphics. It might be that you're learning how to play guitar on a worship team. I'm not sure what the challenge is, but what I can tell you is that as you build your skill and you develop your competence, it does add to your confidence, which was number one. Okay, so competence is real important. Spending time doing the work, spending time learning and getting good at the skills is very important if you are going to bring leadership excellence to whatever you're doing. You might have to learn a new skill. You might have to you might have to just put a hat on and say, you know what, this is a season for learning for me, and I've got a lot of things to learn and grow in, so that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to take lots of notes, ask questions. I'm not going to be afraid to try things, and you just kind of get that wheel turning so you can get your skills and your competence up. Okay, so that's number two. And then number three, if you're going to bring leadership excellence to wherever you are, I would say number three is courage. Courage. Now, don't mistake courage for absence of fear or absence of concern. Courage is something within us that brings about the strength of conviction to go for it. The strength of conviction to move forward because you believe in what you're doing. It doesn't mean you're not afraid. It doesn't mean that you're not concerned that there might be potential for failure. Courage is something that we do in spite of feeling afraid. Courage is something that we choose to do and express in spite of our fear of failure. And the greatest leaders that have always inspired me always had courage. They had courage to make the tough decisions. They had courage to have the difficult conversations. They had courage to believe in something and to go for it, even though it meant there was certain risk involved. And if you're going to bring leadership excellence to wherever you are, you're going to need lots of courage. Courage to believe that these changes and these things can make a difference. Sometimes courage means you just got to say you're sorry. And I've had to do that, and that's not easy. It's hard to humble yourself and to admit that you got it wrong. Sometimes it's hard just to admit that you were wrong, not because you believed you were wrong, but because you believe that it helps things get better. And that takes courage. It takes courage to own mistakes. It takes courage to say, you know what, this is completely my fault. I misunderstood the mission and I took us down the wrong path. I own it. I'm sorry. Here's what I want to do now. If you're going to bring leadership excellence, you simply can't lead out of fear. You're going to have courage. So if you're going to bring leadership excellence, you're going to have to bring confidence. Confidence comes through trial and error. It comes through going through it and kind of getting history under your belt. If you're going to bring leadership excellence, you got to have competence. You got to be good at what you do, and you got to say and do what you say you're going to do. In other words, you just got to be reliable and dependable. And sometimes that involves developing the skills in your particular area. And then you got to bring courage. You got to bring courage because people are inspired by leaders who lead with courage. That's all I have for you today. I hope that helps you. I hope it spawns and inspires certain ideas for you to be able to achieve and serve with excellence wherever you are. That's all I have for you today. Until next time, from my heart to yours.